Welcome everyone to this exciting interview segment. Today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Andrew Walker, star of the movie Jingle Bell Run and Three Wiser Men and a Boy. Join us as we delve into Andrew's insights into his characters and the challenges of filming this movie. Thank you for being with us, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, can you tell us a little bit about your character in Jingle Bell Run?
Sure. My character's name is Wes Cosgrove, and I am an ex-NHL, which for all the Europeans out there is the National Hockey League. Ex-NHL hockey player, and I've been retired for a year, and I am trying to hold on to my stardom. I feel like I am losing my fame, and it's a very nerve-wracking thing. It's I'm losing my identity, and so I try to stay relevant by applying for this amazing race style show, and so it's basically me realizing that I need a partner in order to succeed, and this partner is a completely opposite character to who Wes Cosgrove is. She's an elementary school teacher, and she's actually a crossword puzzle queen. She and her and I together become the ultimate duo.
Great. And what initially attracted you to your role in this movie?
I played a high level of American football when I was growing up, when I was younger, and I had always had these dreams of playing professional football as I got older. And my whole life revolved around my athletics. And when I was injured and I realized I wasn't going to play football anymore any longer, I was going through an identity crisis, and I didn't know what I was going to do in my future. And so to be able to go back into that, to that time, and it really allowed me to have this uh it was a very therapeutic role, because it was something that I could go back and draw from these emotions and this experience that I had when I was younger, and and play it through the eyes of this hockey player, Wes Cosgrove. And I feel like this happens with a lot of professional sports athletes. When they retire, they go through this difficult time of realizing who they are, what the future holds now, this new future. And they're so young, they're in their mid 30s, late 30s when they retire from their sport. And it's at a time when they kind of peaked already. And to try to reinvent yourself is a very difficult thing. And so I love being able to explore that in playing this character.
That's amazing. And what was it like working with the rest of the cast and crew on set?
Well, this is a big ensemble cast because of all of the different characters that were part of the challenge, or part of the competition. Um, the supporting cast, in these movies is so important, and each each actor. The movie was shot in Vancouver, Canada, and fortunately, it's a big pool of very talented actors here in Vancouver. They call it Hollywood of the North up in Vancouver, Canada, and that's where I am right now. Actually, I'm here temporarily from Los Angeles, and so fortunately, we have a really talented pool to draw from, and my co-star Ashley Williams, she's had a very successful long career in half-hour comedy. She was on a show called How I Met Your Mother, and she's done a lot. Her and her sister are very, you know, uh, prominent actors, and so playing across from Ashley Williams was a real uh, treat. and I felt very fortunate to have her as a guide and as somebody as a counterpart in allowing me to, in being there and supporting me in my comedic uh, in the comedic journey that we were on in this movie. So very very important, supporting cast, and I think that's what really made the movie what it is today.
Great. And what was your favorite scene or moment while filming this movie?
I mean, there was a lot of great moments, but there was one moment nearing the end of the movie when we are at the finish line, and we were shooting in the middle of this square with all these high-rise buildings around us, and we had the whole courtyard to ourselves. And it just felt like we were shooting this, big budget feature film that day because we had this huge courtyard to ourselves, high rises. The set decorations that day were really extravagant, and there was this big Christmas tree that we were running to the finish line. And we had stunt men on set that day, and it was the finale of the movie where Ashley and I are running to get through to the finish line, and I trip and fall, and I tell her to go without me, and it felt like a real big budget movie that we were shooting that day. So I think that was one of the most fun days that we had.
Great. So, change of subject. This is a question that I made to all the artists that I pleasure to talk with. What have been some of the most memorable projects you have worked on throughout your career and why for you?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
I think it's a bit of the old mixed with the new.
Yeah,
I think one of a role I've had a lot of pilots for ABC that didn't get picked up. It's just the nature of the business. You audition for so many different television shows, and ones that they might get picked up for 3 episodes or so. So there's a lot of these episodics that I had a great time shooting. However, I think because of the my supporting actor who I was working with, there was a movie called Steel Toes that I did that was a an indie film that I shot in Montreal, where I'm originally from, Montreal, Canada. It's based off a play called Cherry Docks, and there's an actor named David Strathairn who was nominated for an Academy Award for Good Night and Good Luck. He played Edward R. Murrow in that movie. Him and I starred in the feature film version called Steel Toes, and it was a two-hander independent film, and I think it was such a special movie to me because I hadn't worked for about a year, and it was at a time when I was questioning myself as an actor, and then I got this role with David, and he was a mentor of mine as we were shooting it, and we had so many great conversations about acting and about preparation and backstory, and he just allowed me to feel like I was on the right path, that I was supposed to be an actor, and he he propped me up, and he brought me he allowed me I felt so confident when I was working with him. And so when the movie aired, it did very well at the film festival circuit, and I won some awards. And then fast forward to, for whatever reason, this movie was the reason why I started working at Hallmark Movies. A director in Hallmark had seen my performance in this movie, and he hired me for my first Hallmark movie called Bride for Christmas because of this movie. So I think that movie is probably one of my more favorite movies and one of my more coveted films that I've ever done because of the how important it was to my journey as an actor. And I think the newest to make it current, the these past two movies that I've done, the Three Wiser Men and a Boy film that just aired this past 2 days ago.
yeah.
and Jingle Bell Run. I think those are also two of my more favorite movies, especially Three Wiser Men and a Boy, because of being able to revisit these characters again, and you don't really get that opportunity in Hallmark movies. So to dive deeper into the character development of Luke Brenner and to be able to work with these extremely talented actors, Tyler Hines and Paul Campbell, and doing this, the script was so well written, and the story was so rich, and this the it was a very complex comedy for Hallmark and telling real authentic stories, telling a real authentic story about what people really go through. I think that's what the appeal is to this movie. But so Three Wiser Men and a Boy and Steel Toes, I would say from 15 years ago.
Great. So, this is it. Make sure all of you to go to Jingle Bell Run and Three Wiser Men and a Boy on Hallmark Plus. And thank you, Andrew, to join us today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for your time. And thank you all for watching. Bye!
Bye.